All right, we are going to, call the meeting of the Schaumburg Village Board to order for Tuesday, December 10th, 2019. First item is the roll call, please.
Trustee Bishke?
Present.
Trustee Madej?
Present.
Trustee Dunham?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan?
Present.
Trustee Conley? Present. Trustee Kozak?
Here.
President Daly?
Present. I do want to make you aware we are on a webcast, so this is being filmed and available on YouTube even as we speak. I also ask that if you have cell phones, please make sure you turn them off or they will be confiscated.
And sold at auction.
Yeah, and sold at auction. There you go. Okay. The next item is Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to ask Trustee Kozak if you would lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Rise. I pledge allegiance.
To the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kozak. Next item is approval of minutes. We have a November 12th, 2019, and a November 12th, 2019 executive session. Any questions, comments? I'll look for a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve both sets of minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion, 6 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of expenditures for $10,268,093.96, and you have that as a list in your packet.
Move to approve the expenditures as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke?
Aye.
Trustee Madej?
Aye.
Trustee Dunham?
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan?
Aye.
Trustee Conley?
Aye.
Trustee Kozak?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Now we have the fun part. We start with the fun, having a presentation of retirement plaques and service awards, I believe. So the first one is a retirement plaque for 40 years of service to Parnell Murray, Fire Inspector. Please step forward. Wow, 40 years. Even I've been around a little bit to see you on some of those. Okay, so we have, make sure I got the right thing here. I'm going to take this apart for a minute. We have this certificate of appreciation in an envelope. You'll really want the envelope, but that's all right. Yeah, envelope. So we're going to get a picture here. So if I can get a shake. Okay, so here you go. Here's your certificate. And with that, you have this envelope, so don't lose that.
Don't lose that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. I see you're wearing a Top Golf, huh? Oh, you work there now. Okay, good for you. Okay, let's see. The next one, stand up here. Next one is a presentation, a retirement plaque for 27 years only for Timothy Mueller, firefighter. Now in this case, we actually have a little something else here besides just the envelope. We got this nice shiny plaque, so I'm going to take just a quick minute here to read it.
Because I don't have my glasses.
In grateful appreciation to Timothy Mueller, firefighter, in recognition of your 27 years dedicated service to the Village of Schaumburg, 1992 to 2019. Best wishes in your retirement from the Village President, Village Board, Village Clerk, and the staff of the Village of Schaumburg. So, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm going to give you this whole thing like this. All right. Yeah, I don't need that. And I think that's it, right? There you go. Okay, thank you again. Okay.
Congratulations, Tim. Yeah, good luck to you.
Tim.
Best wishes.
Let's see. Christine, not here? Okay. All right, we're going to skip on down here to a presentation of a 20-year service award to Scott Moran, Engineering Inspector. Right? Scott? 20, oh, I'm sorry, 25. Just got 5 years right off like that, you know? What happened to those 25, right? Yeah, didn't. So this one, we have a nice plaque here. This is to Scott Moran, Engineering Inspector, in recognition of your 25 years of dedicated service to the Village of Schaumburg, 1994 to 2019. Grateful appreciation to Village President, Village Board, Village Clerk, and the staff of the Village of Schaumburg. Thank you again. Okay, so let me give you this so you can take it home. There you go. Be careful with it. Okay.
Congrats. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next item is a presentation of a 15-year service award to Lori Walter, Dispatcher Clerk. So are you one of those people, when we call in, that we talk with you sometimes?
All the time.
Okay, all right, so get it, this is Lori right here. This is who she is.
Call me.
Okay, so I'll read the appreciation. Sorry, I didn't do that with the first one. This is Certificate of Appreciation to Lori Walter, Dispatcher Clerk, 15 years dedicated service to Village of Schaumburg, 2004-2019. Grateful appreciation from the Village President, Village Trustees, Village Clerk, and the staff of the Village of Schaumburg, and I'm sure the residents too. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Sure. That and that one too. Thank you. Sure.
Thanks.
Okay, and the last one on the list is one of our favorite people here, right? This one is a 15-year service award to Marilyn Carr, our own Marilyn Carr, Village Clerk. So let me take a minute here to read this. To Marilyn Carr, Village Clerk, in recognition of your 15 years of dedicated service to the Village of Schaumburg, 2004 to 2019, in grateful appreciation from the Village President, Village Board, Village Clerk, and staff. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Do that. Okay. 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 All right. That's it, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Next item is liquor license requests. Actually, the first item, they are not present for this evening. The second one is from Ming Zhang, if I pronounce that correctly, and I'm sorry if I don't. Yan Rutterham for one Class F liquor license for Red Cajun and Seafood Restaurant located at 410 West Higgins Road. It's a new license. Is someone here from that establishment? Ah, there you are. Please come forward. And at the podium here, and give us your name.
Okay, and the signature.
Sure, please sign in. Okay, give us, you're representing the establishment, and who are you?
Yes.
And what's your name?
Ming Zong.
Oh, okay, Ming Zong.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you owner, proprietor, general manager?
General manager.
You're general manager.
Yes.
Representing, so you're the management for the establishment, okay? But this is a new license. Is this a new business?
Yes, everything's brand new.
Everything's brand new?
Yes.
Okay. All right, look for questions from the board regarding this. Looks like you're serving Cajun and seafood?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Trustee Conley?
This is a request for beer. Does this liquor license allow beer and wine then?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
classification would
That
allow-
classification would. So if he chooses to start with beer and then wants to add wine to his menu, even though this just says beer, he wouldn't have to come back in.
No.
So you could serve beer and wine, not just beer, if we grant this liquor license.
Yeah, if we could.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you want. Okay. That was my only question.
Okay.
It's that
Anyone?
class.
Trustee Dunham?
What's in that space now?
The space?
What is, what was the previous tenant, what did they do?
Do this restaurant?
I'm asking you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it a restaurant?
Where is the restaurant?
No, he's not, obviously not understanding. The-
Matt? Is Matt Frank here? There he is. Matt, do you know what was at that location previously?
It was a small retail shop. This is West Gulf by Higgins, by Discount Tire.
Has it ever been a
It's
restaurant?
never been a restaurant there,
Oh,
no.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Thanks, Matt.
Any other questions? No? So there's no further questions from the board. You need to go to the mayor's office, liquor commissioner's office, to fulfill the application process. And there'll be a background check, and assuming you pass all that, and pay the appropriate fees, then a liquor license will be issued, and you can do that starting tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you
Okay, and
very
that's
much.
upstairs here.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay,
All right, thank you.
One more
Thank-
question.
oh.
When will you be opening?
We think everything permit set, I think, next month.
Next month.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the community.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the consent agenda. The consent agenda will be read in its entirety, voted on in one motion to approve. If you wish to discuss an item further, please indicate that when the item is read by the village clerk so that it can be removed from the consent agenda and discussed under committee reports. Otherwise, all items will be approved as presented on the consent agenda by one motion to approve. And I will turn it over to the village clerk to read the consent agenda, please.
Number 1, the correspondence. The motion would be to approve the request from the Japanese Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Chicago to hold a raffle at the Schaumburg Renaissance Hotel and Convention Center, 1551 North Thoreau Drive, and to grant a variance to Code Section 117.31. B, the motion would be to ratify the request to hold raffles on December 6th, 7th, 8th, to approve the request to hold raffles on December 13th, 14th, 15th, 2019 at the Al Larson Prairie Center for the Arts, 201 Schaumburg Court, and to waive the fidelity bond requirement. C, the motion would be to approve the request from Midwest Nursing Research Society Foundation to hold a raffle on April the 2nd, 2020 at the Schaumburg Renaissance Hotel and Convention Center, 1551 Thoreau Drive, and to waive the fidelity bond requirement. D, the motion would be to approve the request from the Schaumburg Business Association to hold a raffle on February 6, 2020 at the Schaumburg Business Center, 1501 East Woodfield Road, and to waive the fidelity bond requirement. 2,
Excuse me,
Yes.
can we go back for just a second? I have a quick question. Tom, is that all right?
Yes, please proceed.
Item A, the Japanese Chamber, unless I miss it here, I don't see when that's supposed to be. There's no date.
there is not.
Yeah, it's either February or April. I forget. I remember seeing something on it.
All right.
Okay. 2, proclamations. Special Olympics Unified Champion School Day, November 26, 2019. B, Links Technology Day, December 7th, 2019. 3, Engineering and Public Works Committee. The motion would be to authorize participation in the National Auto Fleet Group contract and approve issuance of a purchase order to National Auto Fleet Group, Chevrolet of Watsonville, California, for the purchase of 7 vehicles in the total amount of $249,478.10. B, the motion would be to approve ratification of the emergency expenditures with Concept Plumbing of Palatine, Illinois, and authorize issuance of payment in the total amount of $65,577.71. Excuse me. C, the recommendation would be to award a bid for well 15 maintenance, repair, and rehabilitation to the lowest responsible bidder, Great Lakes Water Resources Group of Joliet, Illinois, in the amount of $426,305. D, the motion would be to adopt an amending Title III, Chapter 36, Section 36.083, and Title V, Chapter 51, Section 51.041, with regard to sewer infiltration and inflow control. 4, Finance, Legal, Administrative, and General Government. A, the motion would be to approve the Finance Department monthly report for September 2019. B, the motion would be to approve a change order number 1 for the street banner program with display sales of Bloomington, Minnesota at the cost of $17,490 for a total cost of the banner program for the year 2019-2020 at $66,635. C, the motion would be to approve membership in the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus and the membership dues in the amount of $3,340.22 be paid. D, the motion will be to accept the comprehensive annual financial report for the fiscal year ending April 30th, 2019. E, the motion would be to accept the years 2018 to 19 municipal compliance reports for the Schaumburg Police and Schaumburg Firefighters Pension Funds. F, the motion would be to approve an ordinance authorizing a prorated liquor license fee of 50% for applications submitted after June 30 of the licensing year. G, the motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing a 6B tax incentive for PEC, Prospect Electric Company Development, LLC, located at 516 Morse Avenue, Schaumburg, Illinois. H, the motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing the renewal of a 6B tax incentive for Chiflex Tower, LLC, Novaspec, located at 1124 Tower Road, Schaumburg, Illinois. I, the motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing a 6B classification for Galaxy Underground, Inc., located at 1075 Morris Avenue, Schaumburg. J, the motion would be to accept the 2019 September Fest final report. 5, Public Safety Committee. The motion would be to adopt an ordinance amending Title 15, Chapter 153 of the Schaumburg Village Code to add a new section regarding vehicle impact protection standards. B, the motion would be to approve an ordinance amending Title 7, Chapter 72 of the Schaumburg Village Code, modifying parking restrictions at the Schaumburg commuter lot. C, the motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing the village manager or his designee to execute a memorandum of understanding regarding the intent to participate in mutual aid emergency medical service billing. D, the motion would be to approve the resolution approving the adoption of the update of the Cook County Muni Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. E, the motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing the village manager or designee to execute an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Schaumburg and the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services related to ambulance services. 6, Transportation Committee. The motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the Schaumburg Park District for the Schaumburg Road and National Parkway pedestrian and roadway improvements. B, the motion would be to authorize the village president to execute a service agreement with Pace Suburban Bus of Arlington Heights, Illinois, for Route 905 for an amount not to exceed $283,234.76 and approve the required resolution. C, the motion would be to adopt an ordinance reauthorizing the amendment to Title VII, Chapter 75, Schedule 9, permitting parking on Penny Lane. 7, Planning, Building, and Development Committee. The motion would be to approve a contract with Site Design Group Ltd. of Chicago, Illinois, in an amount of $178,270 and approve the required resolution. B, the motion would be to approve a change order to a contract with J. Devato Design, Inc. of Island Lake, Illinois, for landscape inspection services in the amount of $4,500 and approve the required resolution. C, the motion would be to approve an amendment to a cost-sharing and reimbursement settlement agreement for Coventry Woods subdivision and approve a resolution authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute the agreement. 8, Plan Commission. The motion would be to approve the 2018 Community Development Block Grant, CBDG, Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CAPER. 9, Zoning Board of Appeals. The motion would be to approve sign variations for Panera, 830 North Meacham Road. Meet me on Meacham. B, the motion would be to approve an architectural approval for a site plan amendment, new shop, building, and fuel canopy amendment to a special use for a motor freight terminal, fence variation, and landscape variation for FedEx, 1651 Wright Boulevard. C, the motion would be to approve amendments to the Municipal Code, Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 154, Zoning, and 155, Signs of the Municipal Code relative to video gambling cafes. D, the motion would be to approve a special use for an indoor entertainment establishment for Anytime Party, 851 East Schaumburg Road, Spring Valley Shopping Center. 10, award of bid. The motion would be to award the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, sidewalk replacement, Weathersfield, Units 3, 9, and 19, project to Schroeder and Schroeder, Inc. of Skokie, Illinois, and issue a purchase order in the amount of $126,804. 11, resolutions. The motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19-077, approving the adoption of the update of the Cook County Muni Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. B, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19-078, approving and authorizing the execution of Emergency Medical Services Mutual Aid Agreement. C, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19-079, approving and authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Schaumburg and the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services related to ambulances services. D, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19-080, approving and authorizing a 6B classification for 516 Morse Avenue, Schaumburg, Illinois, Prospect Electric Company Development, LLC. E, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19-081, approving and authorizing the renewal of a 6B classification for 1124 Tower Road, Schaumburg, Illinois, Chiflex Tower, LLC, Novaspec. F, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19-082, approving and authorizing a 6B classification for 1075 Morse Avenue in Schaumburg, Illinois, Galaxy Underground, Inc. G, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19-083, authorizing the village manager to execute a professional services agreement with Site Plan Design Group for the design of 90 North West Park. H, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19-084, authorizing change order number 1 to a contract with J. Devato Design, Inc. for landscape inspection services through April 30th, 2020. I, the motion will be to adopt as Resolution R-19085, approving and authorizing the execution of the First Amendment to Cost Sharing and Reimbursement Settle Agreement, Coventry Woods. J, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19086, authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the Schaumburg Park District for the Schaumburg Road and National Parkway pedestrian and roadway improvements. K, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R-19087, authorizing the village president to execute a service agreement with Pace Suburban Bus for Route 905. Excuse me. 12, ordinances. The motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 19095, authorizing the sale of approximately .6 acres of village-owned property located at 35 East Schaumburg Road in Schaumburg, Illinois, and authorizing staff to complete the documentation necessary to close on the purchase. B, the motion would be to waive first reading and read as and adopt as ordinance number 19096, granting site variations for Panera, 830 North Meacham Road, Meet Me on Meacham. C, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 19-097, granting a site plan amendment, new shop building and fuel canopy amendment to a special use for a motor freight terminal, fence variation and landscape variation for FedEx, 1651 Wright Boulevard. D, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 19-098, granting amendments to the Municipal Code, Title 15, Land Usage, Chapters 154 Zoning and 155 Signs of the Municipal Code relative to video gaming cafes. E, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 19-099, granting a special use for an indoor entertainment establishment for anytime party, 851 East Gulf Road, Spring Valley Shopping Center. F, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 19-100, amending Title 15, Chapter 153 of the Village of Schaumburg Code to add a new section regarding vehicle impact protection standards. G, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 19-101, amending Title 7, Chapter 72, Section 72.09 of the Schaumburg Village Code relative to commuter parking lot restrictions. H, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 19-102, amending Title 11, Chapter 112, Section 112.11 of the Schaumburg Village Code relative to liquor license fees. I, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 19-103, amending Title 7, Chapter 75, Schedule 9, permitting parking, Penny Lane. J, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 19-104, authorizing the levy and collection of taxes for the corporate and municipal purposes of the Village of Schaumburg for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2019, and ending April 30th, 2020. K, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 19-105, amending Title 3, Chapter 36, Chapter 36.083, and Title 5, Chapter 51, Section 51.041, with regard to sewer infiltration and inflow control. L, the motion would be to adopt as ordinance 19-106, amending Title 3, Chapter 31, Section 31.025 of the Schaumburg Village Code relative to the Business Development Commission. This concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you, Marilyn. To answer Trustee Dunham's question, it's actually January 12th, 2020. I was thinking it was February. My mistake for the Japanese event. Look for a motion on the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda as
Go ahead.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve as presented. Further comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Bischke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion approved. Committee reports. We have an item from Zoning Board of Appeals, recommendation to approve an amendment to Municipal Code, Title 15, Land Use, Chapter 154, Zoning of the Village of Schaumburg, Village Code relative to adult use and medical cannabis business establishments. And this one was actually discussed also at a pre-meeting, Committee of the Whole meeting this evening, which you all attended. And I will give a quick recap. Bear with me a second here. So the recap is comments from the zoning board had to do with extending the buffer from 1,000 feet to 1,500 feet, and to add a buffer regarding places of worship. The Committee of the Whole discussed this and decided to leave the distance buffer at 1,000 feet and not change it to 1,500, but to include the houses of worship included in that. The other item, another item was limit dispensaries to a maximum of 10,000 square feet. The committee did not agree with that and said there should be no maximum. Third item was to limit all adult use manufacturing uses such as cultivation centers, craft growers, cannabis infusers, cannabis processors, cannabis transporters to a maximum of 5, and the committee did agree to keep that as a maximum of 5. That was really all the changes as I got. Is that correct? Anything? No.
Did she have a fifth one?
No, I don't think we.
Well, there was a
we-
policy matter, but the
Yeah.
board just gave direction to staff on that. It's not actually part of the ordinance. So at this point, based on staff's reading, based on the discussion at the committee of the whole, the appropriate motion would be to move to adopt as ordinance number 19-107 and waive the second reading requirement, and ordinance, as Marilyn had said, amendment to the Municipal Code, Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 154, Zoning of the Village of Schaumburg Code relative to adult use and medical cannabis business establishments. And that motion would apply to you have 2 draft ordinances, one with the original that was sent for public hearing, and the other that came back with the recommendation of the zoning board. So the motion would be to adopt, as I said, and also to accept the zoning board's recommendations with the exception of, so we would be voting on the version that incorporated the zoning board's recommendations, and we would be modifying on page 7 in subsections B1 and B2, changing 1,500 to 1,000, but otherwise leaving it as it was presented from the ZBA. And on page 12 of the draft ordinance, under subsection 6B1 and B2, again, changing 1,500 to 1,000, because that's that same limitation. And then striking subsection 7 at the bottom of page 12, that deals with the maximum number of square feet being 10,000. And other than that, it would be that version of the ordinance that the motion would apply to with those specific changes.
Questions, comments from the board?
So
Hearing.
moved.
Thank you. Motion by trustee Conley, second by trustee Madej, or no,
Bischke.
trustee Bischke. Further comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Bischke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Thank you very much. There's nothing further under committee reports. Comments from the audience. You're welcome to step forward. There's an open mic. We only ask that you give us your name and address for the record and hold forth on any items that might be pertinent towards the Village of Schaumburg. Seeing no one for this evening, we'll move on to council report.
The only thing I have, Mayor, is at the close of our regular business, I will be asking for a motion to go into closed session, and I'll give that detail when we get there. For the public, there is no action that will be taken after that meeting. And there'll be no reconvening of the village board at the end of the closed session.
Okay, thank you very much. President's report. I have actually a couple items. One is recommendation of the appointments and reappointments of members of the Schaumburg Business Development Commission. You all received a list prior and have that list of those appointments and reappointments, and I look for your concurrence.
Motion to recommend approval.
Second.
So motion and a second to recommend approval. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. I did receive a very nice letter from someone, and I actually did meet this person, just by chance, actually. So let's see if boy, I'm not going to get this name correctly, so I'm going to look for help here, so bear with me. Could you pronounce his name? Okay. Yeah, George is always good at this. George, would you mind, please? Thank you. I think it might be a Polish name, too, so, yeah.
Jednarosh, I think.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So this gentleman had an issue with some landscape repair that he was looking for and some other things that had occurred. I'm not sure exactly when, but it was obviously during some reconstruction, and had gotten, had appealed to the village on this, and he wanted to indicate that, take the opportunity to inform us that Brad Herbin, Village of Schaumburg Senior Engineer, Engineering and Public Works Department, resolved the issue in a very professional manner, and he should be commended as a valued Village of Schaumburg employee, which he certainly is. In government arena, it's always an asset to have knowledgeable and loyal staff that can resolve issues that affect the public, and thank you and thanks to Brad. So thank you very much. Next item is actually one that I'm going to mention and then turn over, is Schaumburg was, back in November, was recently named in a Digital City Survey winner, and I believe there are someone who has something for us.
There is.
Okay.
So 3 weeks ago, Trustee Madej and myself had the honor of representing the village at the National League of Cities Conference in San Antonio. And during the conference, there was an awards presentation by the Center for Digital Government, which was the Digital City Survey Award. Basically, what the Center for Digital Government does every year is awards presentations at different population-sized municipalities for their introduction and use of technology to better serve the local government and the residents. And I'm pleased to say that in the classification of 75,000 or less, the Village of Schaumburg was ranked number 7 nationally. And we got to go to a nice dinner and get a nice award. So I want to present this to the village manager.
Anthony, come on up.
So obviously, we're including the IT department here, so it's very nice.
Awesome.
All right, thank you very much. And that's, well, actually, the only other one I have is, this is our only board meeting for this month, so I want to wish everyone a happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, whatever you go by for this holiday time of year, and hope you enjoy being with family and friends. Managers report.
I have no report this evening.
New business. No new business listed. Unfinished business, none listed. Trustee comments and mentions. Anyone? Okay. Moving to adjournment.
Oh, excuse me, yes, I do.
By all
The
means.
trees, the Christmas lighting looks absolutely fantastic.
Good point.
Public Works and anybody else who was involved deserves a lot of praise for this.
Good point, George. Thank you. Trustee Bischke.
Along the lines of Public Works and our Transportation Group, I want to say I'm very happy to see all of the construction horses taken away, and most of the roadways finished, but the construction on Walnut and on Plum Grove Road and State National Parkway, everything looks fantastic.
Woodfield Drive.
Oh, and Woodfield, at least a part of Woodfield Road.
Only 2.5 months till March 1st.
I know. Construction season will be here before we know it, and we'll take on the next projects, but everything looks awesome.
Yeah. Okay, anything further? No. All right, look to take a motion into executive session in accordance with Section 2, Sub C 8 of the Open Meetings Act regarding security procedures, school building safety and security, and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual or threatened or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property, and I assume we will not be returning.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second to do so. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Trustee Bischke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
And we are adjourned. Thank you very much.